Pickle, let's go to the hotline, and let's welcome in the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer himself. You can hear him on the Horn in Austin every Friday night. Well, you can. You can hear him on the Horn in Austin every weekday, and you can see him on Bally Sports Southwest every Friday night on High School Scoreboard Live.
He's just all over the place.
It's the birthday boy. We're joined by the great Craig Way. Craig, how are you, my friend?
Usually my radio program is all over the place, so I mean that's why it's a mess. So it's good to hear that I'm not the only one. How are you guys?
We're great. We're geared up, ready for another week of Texas high school football. I'm interested in, because last week I felt like there were a number of teams that we had questions about whether or not, how for real are they, right? I think there were a number of teams that going into week 4, we had questions about what exactly they were. Were there any teams that stand out to you that last week kind of vaulted from that, I like what you've done so far, but I'd like to see a little bit more category into the, okay, I have a good feeling about who you are, and you're pretty darn good. Is there one or two teams that struck you about that made that leap last week?
Bernie.
Yeah.
I think the fact that they've taken their show on the road has been impressive. And that's why, by the way, and it probably is not in one of your 3, triangle of terror, to kind of borrow from Jeff Traylor's triangle of toughness thing at UTSA, but triangle of terror choices of the 3 games. It's probably not one of the 3 games that you're down for me, but Bernie Salado, I think, is one of the more enticing matchups this week. And by the way, the other Bernie school is in a pretty good matchup. Bernie champion against Hayes. Hayes is another one of those teams now that they've dropped down. You and I talked about teams that have kind of seamlessly adapted so far to a higher classification, like Dripping Springs, like Argyle, like Highland Park, those schools. And then I went inverse off of that after we were done and said, one of those could be Hayes, that's benefiting by the drop to 5A and what they're doing, but they get a good test on the road to Bernie champion this week. So, but to your original question, I think Bernie High, I think, is one of those ones that kind of strikes me as like, I've seen a little more. I like a little more.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. The Greyhounds have been very impressive, and I think you're right. The game this week against Salado, I think, is going to be very telling for both of those squads. Okay, you asked me on your radio program about an hour ago about Westlake and Lake Travis and just my feelings on the game and stuff like that. And I know that you talk with Hank Carter and Tony Salazar regularly. My contention is that this year's Battle of the Lakes is somehow, for as much as for 2 high-profile programs, it feels like it's flying under the radar as much as this game possibly can. Does it feel less buzzy around the Battle of the Lakes, or is it just me up here in DFW?
No, even in the greater Austin area, it's a little bit buzzy. But not as much as normal. But still, what you'll hear is like on the local newscast, and people say, "Hey, it's Westlake Lake Travis week." That's a big game. Now, blah 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 blah, and then they go on because you don't have 2 top 5 ranked teams unbeaten. You have a number 1 team and a 3-time defending state champion who looked the part, and then you have another team who has had some struggles early and a slew of injuries, and I think that has muted it a little. And then the other point I brought up to you, here's another thing that I think has muted it a little. It's in week 5.
Yeah.
It's not the last week of the regular season, so there isn't that extra bit of anticlimactic air to it. Does it mean a lot to the kids? Yes. I had Hank Carter on my show this morning before you were on, and he said, yeah, it means a lot to the community. These guys are friends. There are several friends that intermingle Lake Travis and Westlake in the off season. But so it means, the old SEC thing about it just means more. Well, it means more to them in this game in addition to what happened. Now, I will submit to you, like you were reminded me, that now Westlake with a large enrollment than Bowie, it's very likely the winner of this game, and we'll wait and see what happens on down the road, but the winner of this game is going to have the inside track to being the top seed in the Division One bracket, because if things hold like they are, and the other two playoff teams are Drip and Bowie, who by the way play this week, if those two wind up being the other two, those two go Division Two anyway. So maybe their game this week also is to see who gets the upper hand in the D2 bracket if things continue to play out the way they have to this point.
Talking to Craig Way, the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag TF Today. All right, Craig, there's down there, especially down there in the Austin area where I know you ply your trade, there are teams that I think we expected to be pretty good. Westlake pretty good. Liberty Hill off to a nice start this year. But I want to give you a couple of teams that and I want to see which of these teams down there in the Austin area has surprised you the most with their start through 4 games. Would it be Dripping Springs making the move up to 6A? Would it be Wimberley off to a 4-0 start? Or may I submit to you Round Rock at 4-0 unbeaten? Which of those teams has surprised you the most?
Of those three, I would probably say Drip, if only because of their season opening win over Vandegrift. Vandegrift, we knew was going to be a very good team. They've looked the part. And Round Rock, we knew was going to be a good team. They've looked the part, and perhaps then some. And I think we thought Wimberley would be pretty solid, and they've looked the part as well. So, and by the way, Tep, when I do my top 5 performances of the weekend like I did, I gave the number 1 performance to Wimberley, not for their 3-point win over Fredericksburg, but because they had to come back and play on Saturday morning because the officials didn't show up on Friday night. So, that was a feather in the cap for the Texans there to do that. But Drippin has done an excellent job of kind of, as we said, making it almost look seamless to this point. Now, you pointed out in a great point, and we'll see it in the next in the ensuing weeks, what's going to happen with teams that move up and how they've done. You made the point in talking about Manor. Manor might have surprised me just a little bit in that how almost dominant they've been in their games to be sliding up to 6A. But you made the great point. We're going to find out about them in the next 2 weeks after this open date week when they play Vandegrift and Round Rock back to back. So we'll find out, and I think we'll obviously find out more about Drippin in the games coming. It would have been a little bit easier to kind of fly Dripping Springs under the radar, if only because they were in the same district with Lake Travis and Westlake. But since Lake Travis has had its massive injury bug, especially at quarterback, and Hank Carter did say this morning, Bo Edmondson is better. He is practicing, but he also added the words, I don't know if he'll play this week. And so they're going to continue to watch him and see. But Caden Leone has gotten better for them. And Chaston Ditta is a youngster that they brought in and played virtually the entire second half against Aikens. So they're feeling better about themselves. But this is where the rubber meets the road. It's going to be a huge test, obviously, for them against Westlake. But I do think that Dripping has all the tools, all the capability of being a playoff team. And obviously they would go in the Division II bracket. And because of the way the enrollment flipped for Bowie and Westlake, then you'd say Bowie going in the Division I bracket. And you brought up the point. If Katy winds up going Division I, my goodness, what are we gonna have in front of us in the bottom half of that bracket, or the right side of the bracket there for regions 3 and 4 when the Division II playoffs begin in 6A.
Yeah, it clears out considerably if things don't if Katy goes to Division I. That would certainly be a game changer. All right, Craig, it's time for the meanest thing we do to each other each week, which I'm going to give you 3 games, and I'm intentionally leaving out Westlake and Lake Travis. I'm intentionally leaving that out to keep you out of Austin jail. Okay. So that's
okay. I started to say, don't know that I would have picked it.
There you go. Well, okay. Trying to save you. Your tires getting slashed here, Craig. All right, here we go.
Okay.
One of these 3 games you can go. You can go 7:00 Friday night at Wilkerson Sanders Stadium in Rockwall as Rockwall takes on Rockwall Heath. Don't know if you remember last year. You can go 7:00 Friday at Demon Stadium in Dumas as Dumas welcomes in Bushland, or you can go 7:00 Thursday night in far as Edinburgh Vela takes on PSJA North. Which of those are you going to?
Give me that panhandle. Let's bring Pickle along, roll her up to the Big Texan and see if she can throw down that 72-ounce steak in an hour. And do that, and then we'll roll it on in to see that matchup between Bushland and Dumas. I'm really intrigued by that one, and I think that could be an awful lot of fun there. So Rockwall against Heathville as well. I don't think it'll be, as to borrow your phrase, as Crazy Town banana pants offensively as it was a season ago.
Yeah.
But it'll be good. And I like the one in the Valley as well. Really like Vela, and I know you do as well. But of those three, I would take the one in the Panhandle.
Yeah, I just don't think I could do the steak because I would not pass up the opportunity to get down to the RGB. I have a hard time turning that down.
So that's the thing. That's what's keeping you from
Good
that
point.
steak. He's
spoken like a girl who has had her share of barbecue from Cooper's there in Atlanta.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. He's Craig White. He's a Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. Hear him on the Horn in Austin every weekday. And, of course, you can see him on High School Scoreboard Live on Bally Sports Southwest alongside Aaron Hardigan and myself. And then you can listen to him call Texas Tech and Texas on Saturday on your radio. Craig, appreciate your time, my friend, and I will see you on Friday.
Hey, we'll look forward to it. Have a great weekend, everybody.
There he goes.
Bye, Craig.
Texas High Football Hall of Famer joins us every Tuesday here on Texas Football Today. Appreciate his time, as always.
He got mad at me the other day because I texted him and I said, happy birthday, sir. And he's like, you got to quit calling me sir. And I was like, oh, that's the Lano coming out. I was like, I call everyone sir.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
Like,
seems
howdy,
normal.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, sir. Like, I don't know. That's just normal verbiage for me. But
Yeah.
he was like, you got to quit calling me sir.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most certainly.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.